Good evening, crafters. I wanted to come in and share with you my project for our collaboration for hashtag Christmas 365. I'm late in posting my projects or my cards for this month, or really it's last month because we were supposed to post the last day of the month and I just got behind. So I wanted to go ahead and talk to you about the cards that I created and tell you a little bit more about what I did. So I took a design for these cards from another YouTube crafter, and her name is Robin Ambrecht, and the name of her channel is Really Robin Stamps. So I would encourage you to go over to her channel and watch some of her card making tutorials, and I think you'll find that you'll learn a few things here or there. I love a lot of the things that she does. So this was one of them that she has done recently, so you can watch it on her channel as well, what she did with her cards. And I just wanted to try it out, and I thought I would share it for my cards this month. I'm not going to do a tutorial on it because she's done the tutorial and she does an excellent job on it, and she shows you a couple different ways of doing it. So hop on over to Robin Ambrecht, and her channel is Really Robin Stamps. Thanks so much. So basically what it is, the design of the card is that you take 4 pieces of designer pattern paper, and I cut mine because this is a 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 card, so A2 card, and I cut the designer paper 4 by 5 1/4, I think. Yep. Actually, I think 4 by 5 1/4 is what I had done on these cards for these cards, because I wanted to try something different, and I'll talk about that in a minute. So let me show you these first couple sets of cards. So I tried out 2 different styles of paper. This collection that I used right here, this is a paper collection from Country Craft Creations, and oh my goodness, I can't believe I can't think of the name of it right now. It's the new Christmas collection from this year. I'm so sorry, I can't think of the name right now. But it is a beautiful pink Christmas collection. So I did that. I used 4 of the separate sheets of the paper, and used some dies to create my snowflakes, and then I used some of the dots from my stash. I haven't done anything to the inside of these cards, and but I'll go back and do that later. And then I just cut out a bunch of sentiments with a black background and a white cardstock, and used some stamps that I had in my stash. And here is my next one. So when you're doing this, it is using the same 4 sheets of designer cardstock, because you actually are going to cut it into pieces and then paper piece those pieces back together, making the same dimensions that they were in to begin with. And the only way that there's different is if the other side of the card or the designer paper has a pattern on it. You may want to turn it over because the other side might look better than one side, but I thought they turned out really nice. Used some dots from my stash. Again, used my snowflakes from my stash, or cut them out as a bit of a decoration. And then I tried one of my other sentiment stamps, and again, my items from my stash, and snowflakes that I cut out with my dies. And then I wanted to try one and see what it would look like with a black background and my snowflakes. I also used a Love from Lizzie peel off there. I was hoping that I could put that down and make it look more like an ornament coming down, but you really couldn't see it, so I just decided to leave it there and just leave it as is. And then I have these gems on the card up here, and they're just from my stash. Then the other set that I also tried is I did the same thing with some of my remnants from my Christmas collections that I had, and I took the cut-aparts, 4 of the cut-aparts, and I think those are the 3x3s. They look like 3x3s. Let me just check. Yep, 3x3. I took the 3x3s from the collection, and then I went ahead and I have some dies that I have from, I believe these are from, oh, let me think. Queen and Company, that's who they're from, and that's who I used, and I used some of the dies back here, and then these gems are from my stash. I'm not sure who they're from, quite honestly. So that is one of the green, red, and white, some traditional colors. And then I did this one, and I used the same 4 pattern papers, but some I turned over because I wanted to make the design a little bit more, a little cleaner. Sometimes it gets to be too much pattern. So I did that, and I have some leaves back here. All of these items, again, are from the Queen and Company dies and some gems from my stash. And then this one, I did some of the 3x3s again, and I used some of the greenery dies. These actually are from the Tim Holtz dies. And I have to say, I really like them. They're great, but they're a lot harder to get in and out of the dies than the ones from Queen and Company. And you know, they're not really, I know that these are not as intricate, but sometimes I really like these, but I had a lot of troubles getting them out of the dies. So it was a little frustrating, I'll be honest. But, so I did 2 cards with that greenery on the back. You can see those right there. There's mistletoe leaves, and there's the berries and some of the greenery. This one I tried to do 2 different green cardstocks, and I basically used, for any of these solid patterns, I used my artisan cardstock, just the remnants left over, and I just die cut some out of that. So I had done 8 of these cards exactly how Robin first taught that, and then I thought, well, I wonder what it would look like if I backed those pieces of cardstock or designer paper. How would it end up, and what would it look like? So basically what I ended up doing was I cut out black cardstock to be the background for my designer paper. The one thing that I did differently, and I had to adjust for it, is I ended up cutting this side into 3 pieces and a 4th piece over here. And because of the way that I needed to have like a little black break in between here, I had to cut the whole outer side a little bit bigger than what I wanted to cut it for this designer paper. So if you're going to mat it or do anything behind it, you're going to have to adjust your measurements based upon how your pieces are cut. So I added that, and I'll be honest, I like the other designs, but this one, these I liked even better. So I used some of my dies again from Queen and Company, and then just some gems from my stash. And the black back here is the artisan cardstock. And then I tried out this one, put one of my sentiments on there. These, oh my goodness, flowers are really from my, from a stamp, or not a stamp, but a punch that I had. And I'll be honest with you, I don't like it as well as I thought I would. I really liked this this die cut much better. Now, if we look at these 2 side by side, let me tell you, this is a die from Queen and Company, and yes, I did, you know, put it on to used my, you know, my flower tool, and you know, rounded that a little bit. But this is 2 layers, And these are like 4 or 5 layers. And I really like the way this looks so much better than I like the way that looks. Now that might look nice for a spring or summer flower, but I didn't like it in the Christmas really. I mean, it's fine. It's just not, it's not one that I'm going to go back to again. And because I had put this down the way I did, I ended up putting another piece of the pattern paper over here just because I needed to fill that up a little bit. But that's my second card. And then my third card that I did like that with the black background and the flowers, and these are all again Queen and Company dies. And this die is from my stash. I'm not sure who's the maker of that die, but thought it turned out pretty nice, especially with the black background, and then the black sentiment on here too would be good. And you could also even heat emboss this sentiment, and I think it would look really nice, and just kind of take your card to the next level would look really nice. And then here's my last one, and as you can see, I had one flower, used those Queen and Company dies, some gems from my stash, same sentiment, and I used just one flower. And then on here, I'm not sure if you could see, I cut these out of green, and then I put the red berries on there just to give it a little bit of so it wasn't an all green background or all red background. So, but I think they turned out pretty cute, and they were not really hard to make at all. And I think that they would make, I think that they would be fun card sets to give as a gift. I think they would be fun card sets that that you could use for your Christmas cards and sending them out to friends and family. Or I think I'm going to be donating these cards to a charity coming up. But looking forward to our next adventure for the hashtag Christmas 365. I hope that this was enjoyable, and I look forward to seeing you with a new project soon. Thanks so much, everybody. Have a great night.